Hello there, this is Elissa again with Camp Healing Hearts Online 2021, and by now you should have read or seen the video about the book, The Heart in the Bottle. Also then done the heart activity connected to that book, and just before doing this activity, you should have also read or seen the video I provided of A Terrible Thing Happened. So now we're going to do our last activity connected to telling your story. And what I'm going to talk about is the importance of telling our story. And there's so many different ways that we can do that. In the book, A Terrible Thing Happened, which is this one, it talks about how the young raccoon, Sherman Smith, had been dealing with so many different things and didn't know how to talk about it. So in this instance, it could be that you might find it very helpful to talk about the death of your special person, people. It could even be if you had any pet or pets, but those thoughts, feelings that are coming up for you because of that death. It also is important to share about any other types of things that are coming up for you. So as I mentioned in my video earlier about grief, you might find that it might help to talk about not just grief because of the death of a special person, but your grief that's coming up because of any other losses or big changes in your life. So in the book, it talked about how Sherman ended up talking with Miss Maple, and they worked together to try and figure out what he was going through and feeling. So some of you might already have a helping adult you're working with that you feel you can talk to, and hopefully that can be someone you can go ahead and do this activity with. Or maybe you want to do this by yourself, or you might want to go ahead and just do this with your parent and or guardians that you have. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. So what I want you to think about is telling your story. You know, what it is, who the person was or the people were, how you were connected to them, how important they were to you, things you might have done together, things you liked about the person. And in the journal we provided you, which would be in your toolkit, there's a little journal and there's a little sentence for each day. And we call those prompts. And what that means is this is something to help you think about, to what we call trigger a thought about things to write that are connected to about yourself, but also the person and or people that have died. So that's a good thing that can help with telling your story, especially if you don't want to talk about it. So telling your story doesn't mean you have to just say it. Talking can be very helpful, but you don't have to just tell your story by talking. There's many different ways you can do it. Some people find that they can draw. Drawing a picture can be very helpful. And that's what Sherman did in that book. Some people find making up a story might be helpful. Instead of telling their own, maybe making up a story, making up characters, living the same type of thing you've gone through. That might be helpful. Some people might write lyrics to a song or make a whole song about their experience or what they're thinking or feeling. Some people also might make up a dance. Some people might use arts and crafts as a way to tell their story and show it. So again, there is no right or wrong way to share your story. Whatever way works for you is what's important. So I also provided a couple of sheets for you. So when you go back into the guide I gave you, there's the second part, which is telling your story. And in there, after the activity for the heart jar, there is two different sheets I provided you. So this is up to you. Depending on how old you are, it might be easier to do what we call the Lifesavers one, which for this, you are going to trace your hand on the sheet take a pen, pencil, anything to trace your hand. And then what I want you to do is, after you've done that, for each of your fingers and thumb in that space, to write down the name of what we call a lifesaver. And for this activity, what that means is someone you can talk to about anything. Someone who is like Miss Maple in the book we read about. So if there's anyone you can think of, it can be a helping adult, parent or guardian, it can be somebody at school, it can be older friends, it could even be your friends around your own age and younger. People that you find you are able to go to and talk to, that you trust, that you're comfortable with, that you feel safe with. And that's what this is. And the reason I like doing this is sometimes we remember things, but seeing it can be so much more helpful. Some people find having this around can be good to go to when they're having a hard time and say, you know what? Let me go back to my lifesavers. Who can I go to? Who can I talk to? And this can be very helpful. Then for some of you that are older, the other sheet I provided, which is Who Helps Me, might be very helpful. And for this one, it's very specific to the different types of people. The younger campers can do this as well too. If you want to do this with a helping adult, that's fine as well. I see nothing wrong with doing both, actually. I think both can be very helpful for everyone to do. And just like with the lifesavers, you're going to fill in on these is, who are people that you trust and feel comfortable with, people that you can talk to. And I like how on this one it offers pets as a section. A lot of us who have pets in our life, we talk to them just like anybody else. And even though they can't respond to us, sometimes they have other ways to let us know that they love us, that they care about us, that they're comfortable with us, and that sometimes can help us be able to talk aloud. So we're able to talk to them about things that might be hard for us. But I also encourage you, even if you are sharing with your pets, if there's somebody else that you might be comfortable sharing with. So as I said, you could do one or both of those. There's no right or wrong way to do that one. And then after that, I want you to look around where you are in your home. It can be something that you have in the house, or maybe you need to take some time and think about it, but to look for an item that might remind you of your special person, or special people, and or pet and pets. And I want you to, after you've picked this, think about why you picked it. What is it about this item that reminds you about this person, people, and or pet and pets? Talk about it with somebody that you are comfortable with, someone who's special, someone that you trust. Also, feel free to talk about the death with them. What was that like for you? How was that to do? How was that to go through? Things that you might have been feeling then, things you might be feeling now. And again, as I said before, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Just like it's no right or wrong way to feel how you feel about the death. If you're able to, write or draw a picture instead, if it's too hard to talk about. Just like I said before with, writing a song, doing a dance, anything that might be able to help you, because this is a safe place for you to do that. And as I said before, the journals are a great tool to utilize for yourself to help you be able to go through. There are some blank pages at the end, so you can feel free to use those too to write anything else you want to. You don't have to just use the words at the top, the prompt that I put in there. You can write whatever you want to. So some of you might have done camp either in person and or last year. A thing that's different this year is maybe you were able to join us virtually or will join us virtually. For this telling your story, virtually we're going to do some of these activities together. So being able to share an item with everyone else about that special person, people. We're going to do what we call an icebreaker activity, so a way to get to know each other in your group, because I tried to base the group around people your own age, so that way it's a little more comfortable to know, you know, they're around your own age, maybe your same grade or same type of school. That way you can feel free to share with each other. So something to think about, that an item to share if you're going to do that group. And we'll also, if you're open to sharing, about the heart activity that we did earlier. But again, you don't have to do the virtual. If you do this on your own, that is perfectly fine. Some people find that very helpful. But sometimes sharing virtually can be very helpful too, because you might hear other ideas from people and learn things that how other people are doing, or know you're not alone. So if you are able, I encourage you to join. If you did not already talk with me about doing the virtual meetup, that's perfectly fine. What we'll do is you can contact me, 624-2208, 315 area code. Ask for Elissa, that's me, the director for Camp Healing Hearts, and we can work that out. If it's already passed though, unfortunately won't be able to do that. As I said before, this camp for 2021 online is broken by week. So telling your story is for the first week of August, and then the end of the week is when I'm planning to do all of these. So hopefully you've done the activities up to now, or you waited because we're going to be doing the activities I just discussed together in the virtual format. And again, no right or wrong way to do this. It's whatever works for you. And I hope that this was helpful in being able to share a little bit about what you're going through, what's happened, and also thinking about not just the grief you're having because the death of your special person, people and or animals, but also, you know, the impact of COVID has been on your life, things that have changed, how things are different, or how things are starting to go back to normal, but it's not really how it used to be. Those are things to think about, and feel free to share with anyone that you're comfortable with in your life, or if you're comfortable sharing that in our group, that's fine too. And this is the end of our telling your story. So this is the end of week 1 for Camp Healing Hearts Online 2021. Thank you. And I hope we'll see you next week for Feelings and Coping.